As the Democrats struggle to find their footing, the new DNC chair admitting the disconnect has never been greater.
So many parts of our coalition left us this last election cycle, right? We know that, from Latino voters to working class households to young voters to women. You can go down the list. The only two groups that we overperformed with in the last election cycle were wealthy households and college-educated voters. That's a damning indictment on the Democratic Party. We got to do a better job.
Joining me now, Matt Gorman, Executive Vice President of Targeted Victory, and Dave Aronberg. He's a former Palm Beach County State Attorney. Dave, let me start with you. So as a Democrat outside of D.C. looking in, what's it been like the last few weeks for you?
Good to be back with you, Dana. Well, it's very typical, though, to have the soul searching after you lose an election. So that's nothing new. I think Democrats are looking for a voice, and when you don't have the House, you don't have the Senate, you're going to struggle to find a voice. The people I speak to believe that you go to the swingingest of states, Pennsylvania. Who's the most popular Democrat there? Well, you've got Josh Shapiro outside the Beltway. How is he able to do it? And then you have John Fetterman. Even though he's a current U.S. Senator, he's a bit of a maverick. So I don't think this should be that tough. I mean, you've got voices like Andy Beshear, a Democrat in a very red state. So I think that Democrats have places to go. They just have to think outside the box.
So, Dave, I don't think you'd get a lot of disagreement necessarily, but Matt, I don't think that isn't where the DNC just showed that they were, because they decided to go with somebody who is quite progressive and not in the mold of the type of Democrat that Dave was just talking about.
Yeah, no, and he goes on Morning Joe and spouts a bunch of pablum. And look, I think parties, when they lose, they get overly reductive on why they lost. Kamala Harris didn't lose because she didn't go on Joe Rogan, and candidly, she didn't lose solely because of inflation, right? They lost because they don't want to say it, but their policies are fairly unpopular, right? Immigration debate moved away from them. They didn't recognize it. I mean, banning men from women's sports is an 80-20 issue, but they were on the wrong side of that too often. And look, now you're seeing them fall into this trap again, defending bureaucrats and foreign aid and acting like government jobs are lifetime contracts when even their own party, as Mark said, are laying people off. For the private sector, it's an unfortunate fact of life, but one nonetheless. And so Trump almost traps the party into reflexively opposing him when he's taking kind of somewhat common sense stances.
Yeah. Dave, listen to Ken Martin again. He's the new DNC chair. And this is on this idea of how do you resist Trump and Musk?
The first thing we need to do is we need to stand up. If we're not willing to right now resist Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and Elon Musk when the stakes are so high for the American people, how in the hell are anyone in this country going to believe that we would stand up and fight for them if they put us back in power? We have to resist.
But then Rush Teixeira, he wrote this, the Democrats' bureaucracy problem, that over time, Democrats have been hemorrhaging working class voters, including and especially in the last election. A resolute, unconditional defense of government bureaucracies does not appear to be a promising route to getting back in our current populist era. You're in Florida, and I'm wondering what you think about that perspective.
Yeah, you know, President Trump is relatively popular, but Elon Musk is not. And that's an opening for Democrats when you have the richest person in the world trying to take an axe to the agency serving the poorest people in the world. You do have an opening there as he's destroying agencies, going after civil service, not cutting like he's supposed to. This is supposed to be about government efficiency, not wholesale destruction. And I do think we need budget cuts, but what he's doing is, I think, beyond the pale and is going to be unpopular if you see the effects like more plane crashes.
Okay.
People are going to start to wonder what's going on at the FAA.
Do you honestly think that the plane crash has anything to do with President Trump or Elon Musk?
I don't, but I'm just saying that if you have things like more plane crashes, then the person who's slashing the FAA is going to get blamed. You broke it, okay, but you own it. Same thing. I mean, if social...
You're a lawyer. I'm not falling for this hypothetical. Quick last word to you, Matt.
No, look no further than the Axios had a focus group out in Arizona last week. These were Biden 2020 voters, Trump 2024 voters. Every single one of them supported what Musk and Trump are doing. They said, look, the bureaucracy is way too bloated. We need to take some chunks out of it. And I think that's what people are willing to give wide latitude to what Trump is doing because they know it needs to be done.
All right, Matt and Dave, great to have you both. Thanks so much. Have a great day.